Hello, I'd like to welcome you to our interview today with Mr. Marc Mousseau, who fares from Toronto, Canada. And this interview is occurring under the sponsorship of the Business and Professional Network, also in Toronto, Canada. Now, in introducing Mr. Marc Mousseau, he is the founder of Bridgeport Development, and he is presently developing a real estate project of a major nature in Lake Charles, Louisiana, consisting of 800 condominiums and 220 single-family homes.
Yeah.
And so that's obviously a very significant and also a very, as you'll learn shortly from Marc, a very distinctive project. And so, Marc, can you tell us how long you've been in real estate?
Basically, I've been in real estate since I was 26, so it's 31 years ago that I started doing real estate. I got into it by fluke, actually. I bought a house in a project. The project went bankrupt. I had no money, no can do, nothing. And I just decided to make an offer on my house to the trustee. And the trustee said, hey, I'm not selling you one house. I'm selling the whole project. And within 3 or 4 weeks from there, I offered to buy the whole project, 52 homes. With no money, nothing. I have no idea what to do, and the trustee accepted the offer. So imagine my surprise. I'm buying now $2.5 million worth of real estate with no knowledge, no money, nothing, except I had the guts to make the offer, and that's how I got into real estate 31 years ago, well, basically right now. Yeah.
That is very...
It's interesting.
Different.
Yeah, it's different from anybody. Most people get in because they have money from family and so on. Me, I had no money, but I just had the will to do it. And that's how I got into real estate.
Now, are you in any one area, or are you doing various areas of real estate?
Well, I've done real estate across Canada and in the States. I've done Edmonton, Calgary, Montreal, Winnipeg, Saskatoon, and so on. I've done some in the States, in Sarasota, in Miami. I've done some in Central America. I also did an 800-acre land development project about 8 years ago in Costa Rica, central Costa Rica. And that's part of my last 30 years, basically. And out of this, I've done, syndication, condominium conversion, land development. I've done multifamily, single-family, high-rise, everything. So over 30 years or so, I've amassed a wealth of experience, a wealth of knowledge. And about two and a half years ago, I got back into real estate. And for the last 10 or 15 years, what I did is I trained 35,000 students on how to buy real estate. And I said, it's fun to teach people, but now let's go back to it. And that's when I decided basically to open or start a project, and in a place where nobody is even thinking of going. So and I'll let you preemphasize that.
And this is new to many people, of course, and myself included.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. But could you explain more about basically what you're focusing on now and why?
So focusing on the word focus is very important. When you start looking at real estate, there are so many opportunities. Canada, so, but in the States that you have to decide where you want to invest. And about a year and a half ago, I decided that I was done going Chicago, New Jersey, Texas, and all that, because I found a place in the United States that is just blowing me away. And I've cut everything else, and I decided to focus on Lake Charles, Louisiana. And you're going to ask me why very soon, and I think I should maybe start talking about it. So why in the world would I go to Lake Charles, Louisiana as a Canadian investor versus going in my backyard? Well, very, very simple. It's all about economy. The economy, what's happening in that area that makes me as an investor, other investors want to be there. Well, it's fairly simple. There's 19 companies, petroleum companies, that are investing $86 billion, not million, $86 billion, and this is not huff, puff, and so on. They've already put $30 billion in the ground. So these manufacturing plant, not manufacturing, but petroleum conversion, because it's liquefied gas, it's natural gas to liquefied gas. These companies are investing to do that in Lake Charles. So imagine $80 billion, what does it do to a local economy? Well, it's very simple. It will bring 55,000 new jobs. 55,000 new jobs to build those plants. 20,000 permanent jobs will stay there for basically life. in that little town of 125 to 140,000 people. And there is a shortage of 10,000 residential units right now. So they need 55 new beds to get the crew, the teams, the welders, the painters on. They need 55,000 beds, which they don't have, and they need 10,000 single-family permanent homes in that town of 125,000 people. So do you realize the impact that this has on rents, on residential prices, and so on? So I found a place where there's so much demand for housing that you could basically ask whatever you want for the property, and you get it. We're getting $2,000, $3,000, $35,000, $4,000 a month for a two-bedroom unit right now. So imagine what that does to an economy. You're like, are you serious? Yes, I am serious.
And is there, well, this is, you made it very clear that this is something very enticing, you would say, for investment real estate. But is there anything else that's distinctive about this project? It's already very distinctive, but is there anything else you want to describe?
There's a lot of other factors. We're talking about the export of oil and gas. Well, very simply, the Panama Canal has been dredged about a year and a half ago. It's been dredged to allow super tankers, which means that the gas will be exported directly from Lake Charles to China and other countries. So that is something that will create so much new business in the Lake Charles. And Lake Charles is a protected port. It's 30 miles inland, completely protected, that allows for super tanker. So imagine the economy, what will be happening. These companies are converting natural gas to liquid. They're putting it in a tanker and they're exporting it through the Panama Canal, which before could not be done that way. Now, the import into Lake Charles is great also because it is centrally located in the Gulf, and within 8 to 10 hours, it reaches 40% of the US population. So imagine that new economy that is brought in just on the import-export to Lake Charles, and then you got the petroleum industry that's coming in. So that will give that town, that area, sustainability economically. And that's what you want when you want to invest long-term. And real estate is not a get-rich-quick scheme. You have to have good, solid economic reason to invest in an area. And there is nothing that I see, that we've seen in Canada, that gives us that kind of growth. It's as simple as that. You're looking at Toronto. Toronto grows. Hamilton grows. Calgary, Edmonton, it grows. But nothing in the size of investment that would push the real estate value up, and not only for short term. These companies are investing $20, $30 billion in infrastructure and all that, are investing for 40, 50, 60 years. And what's great about that place is that it is basically the oil sands of Alberta. If you could have invested in Fort McMurray 20 years ago when it started, imagine where you would be. Fort McMurray was a small town of nothing. And today it's 175,000 people. If I'm mistaken, I'm not 100% sure about it, but I think it's about 175,000 people in population. And the price of houses are just going up and up and up. Maybe not right now because the petroleum is low, but that doesn't matter. This is just a variation of time. But these companies in the Lake Charles area are investing for the long term, and that's what will make us as real estate investor money, you as an investor, to have something that's stable for a long period of time.
Okay, Marc, can you tell us more about what's different? You told us quite a bit, but anything else?
For sure. Price points. To find a nice 1, 2, or 3 bedroom in Toronto at price point of $155,000, you can't find any of that. To find a property in Toronto that cash flows, very, very rare. Try to find something in Vancouver that cash flows. Calgary and Edmonton, well, all of our units will cash flow $250, $300, $400, $450 per month, US dollars. So imagine the value of that. So our properties all cash flow. Now there's something else that's important for an investor. It's nice that we say the property cash flows, but actually we are going to sign a lease with you for 5 years. So we are your tenant of your unit. So basically you'll have 0% vacancy for the next 5 years at a very good rental income rate. And also we decided that in order to protect our investor even more, we decided to put a cap on the condominium fees. So condo fees are capped, the rental income is fixed. So basically what do you have? You have a brand new unit in a project with basically no vacancy. Condo fees are capped, so the only thing that we have is interior maintenance to take care of on a brand new apartment. And that's what we have that's so special. And we know, we've made projections very, very, secure, or we've taken every single precaution to make sure that investors would make money onto this project. And I call them investors. They're basically condominium owners in there, basically. Yeah, so that's the main thing there. And it's about the only place where I could find that everybody will make money, and I could put I don't mind talking to anybody about it, and that's what we have over there.
Very good. And now, is there, in concluding this interview, and it's very distinctive in terms of real estate and the opportunity, clearly, if somebody wanted to contact you, how would they go about that?
I guess the best is to speak to Karim. Karim is going to be representing us to help out in sales of these units, so Professional Business Network. Karim will do a great job. I'm sure you'll have some great people to answer questions. We have an amazing website on bridgeportdevelopments.com, bridgedevelopments with an S.com, and you'll see all our contracts. You have some videos explaining everything that I've talked about in detail. We have reports. I mean, this is not just me talking about it. It's economy that says, listen, that's the place to invest. So through PBI is the best place that you could reach. And basically that's the best way. Bridgeportdevelopments.com is our website.
Very good. So those listening to this tape, feel free to contact Karim and Bridgeport Development, Bridgeport Developments, plural.com.
Yes.
And then you can place in contact with Karim and/or with Marc Mousseau.
Yeah. I just want to say something also is I have a partner in this. His name is Anand Murthy, and Karim knows him very well. That's how I got connected. And if there's one person that you should believe in partnering with, is Anand. Him and I are doing an amazing job. He complements me very, very well. His knowledge, his engineering, his research, his attention to detail is quite amazing, and the two of us will make an awesome project. And we have two other projects also that we're working on together on this that we'll offer to investors in the future. But right now, this is the #1 project to be. These units will be rented to top executives of these companies, Sasol, Axial, Phillips 66, and that's why we're getting those kind of rents. There's nothing available out there for them to live in, so they have to travel 2 hours to go to work every day. Doesn't make sense. And we bought, listen, the projects we bought are 2-3 miles from the main employer. So imagine being 3 miles from the employer and to be able to drive to work in 6-7 minutes instead of 2 hours. So that's an amazing project, and I hope you guys will come and join us and see what we have. Ask Karim and my business partner, Anand Murthy, for those of you who don't know him. And my name is Marc Mousseau, and it was a pleasure meeting you. Ted, thank you very much.
My pleasure, and thanks for coming and presenting this not only description but opportunity for people to consider.
Thank you. Awesome. It's a pleasure having you here. Thanks, Karim. Pleasure to see you.